Robinson. Hi.
Okay, thank you very much, and thank you very much for inviting me along today to participate.
Yeah. So, good morning, Teacher Ian. May you please introduce yourself again?
Yeah, sure. My name is Ian Robinson. I am from the UK originally, but I have lived in Asia for a long time. I lived in Hong Kong. I lived and worked in Hong Kong for about 25 years. So I feel in terms of the BBA, that gives me a sort of a fairly useful background because I've lived in UK, I've lived in Asia, I've worked in the business and professional sector in Hong Kong for about 25 years, and then for about 10 years I've been down here in Bangkok. So I feel, although I'm from the West, I've got a pretty good insight into Asia by now as well. Yeah.
Right. So we just start our new intake. Our February intake we just start last month, and I would like to say congratulations for all of the students who just got accepted to our universities, and also congratulations for the parents as well. Would you like to say something with their family?
Yeah. Also, I'd also like to say well done to everybody for being accepted on the course and coming to join us here in Bangkok on the course. Although I say coming here to Bangkok to join us on the course, I know some of you do join us virtually, but that's fine. We love to see you every day, whether it's in the centre or online. So I think we are quite flexible in that way, aren't we?
Yes, and the interview sessions and the pass of selection process is very challenging this year as well. Students have to submit the video and pass through the interview committee, which is anyone who get accepted, I think they are very, very excellent candidate.
They've already done very, very well. As they taken their first step on the ladder of success, we could say.
Right. So you've been living in the UK. You are from the UK.
Well, I'm from the UK originally, so obviously I went to school in the UK. I grew up in the UK. Went to university in the UK, and I started off my professional life in the UK as well. I wasn't always a lecturer, although I've done quite a lot of lecturing over the years. But I did start off in the world of the professional world and the business world, and sort of emigrated slowly into the world of education. So so I've done a lot of UK experience and also quite a lot of Asian experience through living in Hong Kong and Bangkok.
Right. So actually BBA course is one of the most popular course all the time. But in your side, why UK BBA is always popular among students who are looking for the course?
Well, I think it's popular because it gives you good life skills, good real life skills that you can take off into the big wide world of sort of business and commerce, and it gives you a good kickstart in those fields. And I think it's good because if you come on the BBA, you do look at a number of areas and you look at a range of skills. I think one thing, when you come on a BBA, when you start off, you might have this vague interest in business. Oh yeah, I want to be in business in some way, but in what way? And I think when you're on the degree, it introduces you to various areas. Maybe it's marketing, maybe it's HR, maybe it's accounting, and I think you can start to see, I think on the BBA you pick up a broad picture, but it also gives you the opportunity to think about what your specialisation may well be at the end of the day. Yep.
Right, and UK is also one of the hub of the global commerce as well. Lots of innovation happening there in the UK.
I think quite a few business schools now, but I think the UK has got quite a lot of good business schools. I think students have been studying sort of business there for a long time. It's a big international hub for studying, and I know business studies is one of the most popular topics because it does give you those skills. It fits you, as I say, to go out into the world. Yep.
So we're running the UK BBA program from London Metropolitan University here in Bangkok. As you can see, at LUBC, we not only study in class, we also take students around, have engagement with the communities, and also we'll visit a lot of industry experts. What do you think of our activities?
Oh, I think all that kind of stuff it's quite essential. You don't just want to be sitting in what we might call your ivory tower, just sitting in the classroom all the time. You need to get out there into the big wide world. I know in the UK, and I don't think this happens quite so much in Asia, but I know in the UK a lot of parents encourage their children to go out and do Saturday jobs and summer jobs, and maybe work in supermarkets and things like Starbucks. And I think it just gets people on the ladder. They get sort of real world experience.
Yes.
You realise you've got to get on with the people that you work with. You've got to deal with customers who are not always very easy, can be very demanding.
Yeah.
It just gets you into that kind of groove a little bit. I think that's great training for business. And I suppose that's one of the things we try to do here, isn't it? We try to get people out into the real world.
Yes.
And give them that real time experience.
Yes.
Through the various schemes that we run. Yeah.
Right. So, but then we have to accept the fact that we're running UK BBA in Bangkok, which of course is going to be slightly different from people who study in the UK. What can you see the benefit of running UK BBA in Bangkok, having the course here?
Well, I think a lot of benefits really. I think we do see that most of our students are Asian students. Coming in to Bangkok maybe from another Asian country. So I think one thing about it is I suppose it's a bit of a culture shock to come to a new city in a new country, but it's still an Asian country. So I think it sort of cushions that sort of cultural shock a little bit. I think Bangkok will be a fairly comfortable place for most Asians to come, but it's still a very vibrant and dynamic business centre. There's a lot going on here, and increasingly so. So I think it's a great business hub to come to, but I think if you're from an Asian country, it's quite a comfortable place to come to. All your favourite food is here, you'll be able to find it, so you feel quite comfortable, but at the same time you will get exposed to an international culture. There's a lot of people here from America, Europe, Africa, Australia, so you will meet a lot of people from different cultures, a lot of sort of quite a lot of cultural diversity here as well. So I think that's quite interesting. And of course it's quite cheap. It's relatively cheap to live here compared to many Western countries. So you're doing this Western degree, you're doing it in a sort of fairly vibrant, dynamic business culture, or a city with a dynamic business culture. So I think that gives you good groundwork.
Yeah, but most of the parents still worried because we are far away from the UK. How is the education quality can be controlled?
Oh, I think we can satisfy the parents on that one, because what happens, we do keep the students working quite hard, because in every subject, I know the students have to submit an assignment every 2 weeks. Well, when if you're doing 4 subjects, that's quite a lot of assignments.
And also
all the time.
University is monitoring us in every aspect.
That's right. I know what happens with the assignments. We mark them here initially, but then the assignments will go off to be looked at, marked externally. So there is a sort of quality control aspect there to make sure that our students are up to the international standard required of the BBA.
Yes, because all of the assignments and all of the paper, also the academic year, we follow LMU, which is on the British standard as well. Right. So
I think the external monitoring is very good, and the parents and the students can rest assured that means we're constantly being monitored to make sure the work is up to international standard.
Yeah, and if you open on the course that what course is offered by LMU, we're doing the exactly right module, same as what LMU doing in the UK. Right. So if they want to study UK BBA in Bangkok, what do you think can be some of the concerns, or what do they have to work more different from studying in the UK?
Well, I think the students here are working very hard. I think probably in UK the students might be given a little bit more freedom at times, but I think our course is fairly well structured, and I think it suits Asian students. And because I say we do keep an eye on the students, we're very strict on class attendance. Very strict on getting the work in on time.
Yes.
I think sometimes in the UK they can be a little bit freer on that side of things, but we do make sure the students are studying hard and the work gets done. So and we've got this external quality control that we mentioned. So I think it's a pretty good base, pretty good start for the students. Do you think we should mention that students do have the opportunity to go to London?
Yes.
Yep. I think one thing with this the BBA is it is a London Metropolitan University degree, but you are studying it here in Bangkok. And I think studying it here in Bangkok does give a very good grounding for the degree. But if you really want that gloss of the international university experience, you will get, or you can have the opportunity to go to London to do the final year of the degree. And I think that would be another gloss on the time that you spent in Bangkok. I think what you get with that final year in Bangkok, you are actually going to a big city, one of the biggest cities, one of the biggest commercial cities in the world, really, I suppose. As a big financial hub, a big legal hub, big commercial hub, big entertainment hub. So I often think there's only 2 or 3 really truly international cities in the world. Yeah. New York's one, and London is the other, really. And there's just so much going on there. So getting a year's exposure to that as a gloss on top of your time in Bangkok, I think provides you with a great experience. London is generally regarded as one of the most diverse cities in the world culturally. And to be a part of that, I think it would be quite interesting.
Right.
For a year.
Yeah, and now we complete 1 year of London universities at Bangkok Center operating, and the time flies so fast, right?
Definitely.
Yeah. So in the next 2 years, we're gonna get our first graduate from LMU. Right. So
I think what we should say is, time flies very fast when you're working hard, but also when you're enjoying yourself.
Yes. Right. So in the next few years, all of the graduate students will go with BBA in their certificates. So what do you think, as you have been working in many countries before, what do you think it could be some other skill that the student should gain apart from the degree?
Well, there's lots of skills you can be working on while the students are working for the degree. But I think, and this is not just our BBA, it's any degree. You've got to remember that getting that degree is just one of the baby steps, really, on the ladder of life's success. You've got to keep working and learning all the time. And we have that sort of little bit of a hackneyed phrase now, being a lifelong learner, but it's very true. I mean, things change all the time, and we've got to be responsive to change and keep learning new things. But I think some of the habits that you can work on here, which I think we can help you to work on. I know when students go out into the workplace, the various things that employers expect of graduates. They expect you to be hardworking, and we help you sort of build up that habit to be a hard worker. They expect you to be proactive. They do want you to think for yourselves a little bit. Your boss doesn't always want you going up, what should I do next, what should I do next, how do I do this? No, be a little bit proactive. We help you with that. They want you to be intelligent. Well, you wouldn't be here unless you were intelligent, so you've got that, hopefully you've got that. But another big one is reliability. And again, I think we help you sort of develop some good habits on that. For example, just getting your essays in on time. We chase people up and be reliable. Do you know, I think Woody Allen said 90% of success is just turning up. So be there, turn up on time, be reliable. That's what they want. And employers also like to see a little bit of ambition. And I think we try to inculcate our students with ambition as well. So I think all those things that employers are looking for in their early graduates, we will train you to get those skills here. Right.
So as LUBC now, we offer internship opportunity as well. So along the journey of our UK BBA is our way full of the skills that you can learn, networking skill, also IT skill, and working as a team is very, very important nowadays, because now people are like so much on the mobile phone. So it's less chance that we interact with each other. But at LUBC, we always have the students who work together and also engage with the faculty members.
Teamwork, communication, all very important. Teamwork, communication, be a good communicator.
Right. So I think the very good session today. Lastly, I would like you to say something for the college student or high school students who are still looking for the program. What should I do? Which course should I take? Do you still remember the time that you were entering the college? What is exactly you were thinking about?
Well, it's a difficult time for students. Well, I tell you one of the things I think is difficult. We think, and I'm looking back over the years now, we think we want to do this job, we think we want to do that job. Actually, one of the things I've realised, there's lots of really good jobs around now. They didn't even exist when I was going to university.
Yeah.
How could you even think you would do that job? I remember when computers started and people were looking for computer programmers and things like that. Well, nobody ever thought to do that. Nobody knew anything about it, really. But it's something that developed. So just be flexible. Have your direction there in place. Think what you want to do, but be flexible. Because with this change that I mentioned earlier comes all kinds of new opportunities. So just pick up these core skills, keep an eye on the world and see what's developing and go for it.
Yes, so as well as like study in English is also very important as well. We are not only UK BBA, but you're gonna study whole with the English environment, and it's very important in global business nowadays.
Yeah, well, English is the international language of business. I don't whether we like it or not, it just is. Mandarin, is very important here in Asia and is becoming increasingly important, but at the moment the international language of business is English. Now, it is very important that you have good, if you want to work in the international business field, it is very important that you have good English skills, because if you haven't got good English skills, it's so easy for something to go wrong. You're setting up a contract, for example, you say one thing, somebody says something else, you think you're agreeing, but actually you've got one thing in mind, they've got another thing in mind, and it's built on a communication breakdown which may be predicated on poor English. But then remember, if something goes wrong, that could cost somebody millions and millions of pounds. Do you know, in UK, they actually had a legal case, days in court, arguing over the position of a comma and what the position of the comma meant.
Yeah.
And so that's what can happen if you get your grammar wrong.
So English communication is a pathway to learn more. The more you know English, the more knowledge that you are able to acquire.
Well, I think the more you know English, the more you can communicate with the rest of the world at the moment. I know it sounds a little bit sort of culturally superior or something like that, but it is just a fact of life at the moment. So many business documents in English, and you don't want to misunderstand them, and you don't want to express yourself poorly so that you end up with some kind of business dispute further down the line.
Right.
Or some disagreement.
So there's some parents still thinking like, oh, maybe their kids still far away of speaking English, or they may look at us like we speak very good English, but we have the students, once they first arrive at the college, they are not very good in English, but they develop themselves. Maybe you can share the experience.
Well, we do provide a lot of English classes. We do provide a lot of input on the English front to get people up to standard. We provide the input, but obviously it depends on the student. These things don't happen magically. If the student wants to learn it, we can provide the help. We will help you get there.
Yeah, so it's not very far away as long as you're willing to study.
Yeah. I often think in this world of education, when students get to this age, it's a bit like climbing a mountain. And with a mountain guide, and we guide you up the mountain, but we don't carry you up the mountain.
Yes, so
you've got to get up the mountain yourself.
You have to be on the hard working as well.
Yeah, you've got to climb the mountain yourself. Yeah.
All right, so thank you very much, Teacher Ajarn. So for LUBC, we open 2 intakes per year. We have February intake, which is just passed, and upcoming intake in October. But You don't have to wait for like, oh, the time that you're going to enter and you come to meet us. You can meet us anytime here, right? At LUBC, we open for you to walk into our campus, talk to one of our supporting team, our lecturers. We always here for you. All right, so today, thank you very much, Teacher Yan.
Thank you, Ajarn.
Thank you.